What is going on YouTube? It is Primitive here, and today I'm going to be bringing you a match from one of the most recent RMC BT7 locals. It's going to be between myself. I'll be on the right. I'm going to be playing green hybrid with the blue base, and then on the left we're going to be having the MagnaGarurumon hybrid style list. So not really playing the Tommies and the Korikakus focused as much as it's going to be playing the MagnaGarurumon with the Koji, so it could be able to warp up. But starting off, my opponent's going to go in with the Kumamon. They're going to swing in. The Strabimons on deletion will allow for a Koji to be played out for free. And then they're just going to go ahead and pass turn into a Bokomon here. So reveal the top 5, only one target. So they're going to grab the BT4 Strabi so they can search a little bit more later. Now I'm going to go ahead and Digivolve up into Beetlemon for 1 thanks to JP's effect. It's going to allow me to grab Metal, which is perfect because I can go into Metal for 1 if I want to go and suspend this Bokomon and potentially swing over it. And I am going to go ahead and commit the play. I do want the Bokomon off the board just so that way they don't gain too much advantage, being able to go into a hybrid for free and whatnot. I do swing into a second Koji, which doesn't worry me too much. Koji isn't the most scary tamer to come out of security. Yes, they'll have another tamer that they can go up to with this Kendo, for example, and still have a Koji, but it's not that big of a deal because I do have another JP on the other end that I was able to play out. My opponent's going to go and swing security, bounce back my Metal here, and hit Mimi, so it's really good for me because I played the JP last turn, so now next turn I can go up into a Beetle, and then if I have Rhino in my hand, then I'll be able to get over this Beowulfmon, and I'll have plenty of memory to do so thanks to the Mimi. So now going to go up to 3. My opponent's got the suspended Beowulf and the Boko out here. I definitely want to be trying to get rid of this Beowulf, so I'm going to go up into the Beetlemon here. It's going to allow me to reveal the top 5, and I am going to grab the Rhino, which is exactly what I'm looking for here, because now I can for sure get over the Beowulf here. Now I can go Siakomon in Raising and tap Mimi to promote, and then Forbidden Trident on the Ancient is going to put me up to 15, while also giving me, when attacking, be able to bounce a level 3, so I'm able to swing over the Beowulf, trash the top security, pierce, hit a third Koji, or a second Koji out of security, third one of the game, but then the Forbidden Trident's going to bounce back the Bokomon, so I was able to clear the board there while also being able to get 2 security checks, and I have the Siakomon on board, which means that my opponent's not going to very easily be able to go into Beowulf anymore as long as this is sitting on the board. I don't think there's any other cards in the deck that Siakomon's going to slow down, but Beowulf is strong enough of a card to definitely want to be able to slow down, so now they're going to go with the Kumamon, thinking about which egg they want to strip here, or which Digisource they want to strip. They do end up going with the Upamon, so that way they can get the draw off of their Upamon with the swing, and they are going to survive the check going into another rookie right there, which is going to be great for me because now they have a suspended Digimon that I can use my Ancient Beetlemon to swing over, get the effect to be able to trash the top, and then get the piercing with JP, which would get them down to 0 security and then potentially just be able to go in for game with Siakomon. So they're either going to have to be able to remove the Siakomon or maybe even just get rid of the bottom source of this Ancient Beetlemon so I don't have piercing with JP, but they are just going to go with the blue memory boost to grab the Korikakumon here. That's going to put me over to 3, and now I'm just going to go ahead and swing over, trash the top, and then pierce, and then nothing stopping that Siakomon from going in for game right there. So I am going to be able to take game 1, a very interesting game. This kind of showed me that Ancient Beetlemon is going to be very strong in this matchup. They don't have the best way to get rid of it, so getting up into that early is going to be strong. I do apologize that there was a little bit change of lighting between the first game and the second game right there. Somebody did accidentally lean on the light switches or something, and all the lights turned off, and it looks like it didn't come back with one of the lights on, so we do have a little bit different of a lighting here, but still going to be able to get into the match. So my opponent goes up with the Kumamon in the back, the Strabimon to search, and I'm just going to go ahead and play out the Mimi to put them at 2. I want to be able to have my memory tamer out, and also I don't have JP in hand, and so if I want to build up into something like Ancient, I'm gonna need to have some sort of tamer to be able to get up in there. They did swing the Strabi and hit the Howling, which is going to be very good for me because now I get a little bit extra memory, but the bad thing is that they went into the BT4 Beowulf, which is when it's suspended I can't attack into it, so I'm not actually going to be able to get the effect with Ancient Beetlemon, and that's something that can actually be an issue because they can freely swing in with jamming every turn, and I don't really have a way to get over this unless they Digivolve over it. And you can see me right there reading it, making sure that I can't go ahead and swing over it, and yeah, so it's going to be a little bit annoying, but I can still go up into Ancient if I want to swing over the Strabimon. I pop Howling first to go up to 4 and play the Mimi. I don't mind giving my opponent 3 memory here. I would just much rather have the Mimi out so that way I don't get choked, and I also again have a green tamer to be able to go up into a hybrid if I need to build up and cycle and whatnot, because with no JP, I definitely need to be finding one here soon. So they're going to swing jamming into the Rhino. They do survive because of the jamming, and now I'm not going to be able to swing over with my Ancient because of its effect, which is obviously going to be very annoying because I want to be trashing the top security, but with that being on the board, I can't really deal with it, and it's just going to be able to swing in every single turn. So I'm definitely on a clock right now, and I think I'm a little bit behind because the Beowulf on the board and the Strabi on back is going to represent way more damage than what I have. Now there's going to be a Boko on the board, which I can suspend if I do have the cards to be able to suspend it, which means I can swing over, trash the top security, but still going to have to try and outpace here to see what I can do. I am going to go up into the Beetle for free thanks to the Boko. The Beetle when Digivolve in here is going to give me the JP, which works for me. Having JP out now is going to be something that I do need going forward, so I can play that out later this turn. But first I'm going to go up into the Metal for 1. That's going to allow me to be able to swing over the Bokomon to be able to trash the top security. Still no piercing, but it's okay because we're going to be able to play the JP out now. And if I have another hybrid to be able to go on top of this JP next turn, it'll work with the Bokomon. I'll be able to Digivolve for 1, gain 2, get a little bit more value, and I can start to get back on the game because my opponent got me down to 1 security now, which means that next turn they'd be able to swing in with the Beowulfmon, and then if they have the Hammer Spark to be able to go up, or if I give them enough memory to go up to 2, then they'll be able to go into a hybrid for game. So I either have to win the game next turn with the 3 Digimon that I have on board, plus the hybrids, or the Tamers in the back, which is pretty plausible with what's on board, but if they do get rid of anything on the board or stun anything, then it's not going to be as plausible. So they're going to go in Hammer Spark and then Supreme Cannon to put me at 1. Now this is actually pretty good for me. I saw a Hammer Spark used, which means that if I can't go for game this turn, then I can still go for the game plan of just putting them at 1 memory and making it so that way they are forced to have the Hammer Spark to be able to go for hybrid. But with a Hammer Spark just used to put me at 1, I feel a bit more confident here. So instead of swinging in, I am just going to go ahead and Ice Wall to put them at 1. This is going to pretty much guarantee that no matter what, I make it into next turn, and then next turn I'll be able to go ahead and swing with 3 checks and still be able to have the JP in the back, and I won't have to hopefully worry as much about what's in security. I am a little bit scared of swinging into something like Hammer Spark, so I could have swung last turn, but since I went to the Arbormon and went down to 0, I wanted to make sure that I put my opponent at 1, so if I swing into something like Hammer Spark or Ice Wall, I could likely just lose the game. So just playing the Ice Wall right there and not swinging was a little bit safer. But now they're going to go up into the Magna to be able to bounce back my Arbormon, which is annoying because now I can't go in for game this turn. But with the Thunder Laser in hand, I still can swing over the Magna and trash their top security, which would still put me in a decent spot, and it'll put me back in a similar position to where we were last turn, to where if I put my opponent at 1, I just have to play around them not having Hammer Spark to be able to swing in with that Strabimon in the back and then be able to go in for Hammer Spark up to 2 and then hybrid. But I'm just gonna have to pretty much play around that because I don't have any other way to do it. I used the Ice Wall already, so the only thing I can really do here is clear the Magna off with the Thunder Laser by suspending and going over with the Ancient, and now I just have to decide if I want to go in for extra checks or not. I can double swing in right here and put them at 0 security. I swing in the first check, and then I was about to swing in the second check, but I decided to think about it for a second, and I went ahead and played the Izzy. This makes it so 1, I have a Tamer on board, so if either of these stick next turn, then I can go for game. It also makes it so that if they do end up swinging in the Strabimon, I still have the JP to be able to swing over and pierce, and I just kind of decided that it was going to be a little bit better to conserve this Arbormon right here. If I did lose it to a security check, or if I did hit something like a Hammer Spark, then I could be in a position to where I could potentially get stunned with things like Kumamon and Korikaku or something like that. But right now my opponent just goes in with the Strabi, puts me down to 0 security, starts looking in the trash, and I thought they were going to go in for a Magna right here, but then they started putting down way more cards than a Magna would need, which showing that they are planning to go into the Susanomon right here. The Susanomon essentially being their only out right here, because they're going to be able to go into Susano to be able to pop my Ancient right here. They put me to 6. I did have 1 singular hybrid in hand. I could have played it out off of the effect, but I just didn't and decided to Digivolve over instead, and it worked out exactly the same. There was nothing in security on that last check that was going to stop me from being able to go in for game right there with that Arbormon on the board. So with that being said, that is going to be today's match. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe. I am sorry that we've been a little bit lighter on uploads recently. It's just because the BT7 burnout is very rough, and honestly the format has just gotten very stale, so I haven't been playing as much BT7, but lots of BT8 coming up soon. So with that being said, I'll catch you all next time. I hope you have a fantastic day. Peace out.